Chapter 26, Trap. Fatima went to fetch the drivers. I told her not to call Therese. I was certain she was innocent, and the fewer diggers involved, the better our plan. I stayed behind in the garage and leaned against my machine. My heart pounded against my ribs. I needed to calm down. For our plan to work, I needed to look composed, not suspicious. I focused on the pain in my shoulder. It stung every time I moved my arm too quickly. I heard footsteps approaching and stood up straight, nodding at everyone as they walked past me and took their positions by their machines. There's been a change of plans, I said. Instead of moving right away, we are going to drive ahead to scout out a new location. Then we will come back for the supplies. Jimmy looked at me confused. I thought you said there was a danger of a cave-in. I shook my head. No, that was a lie. I needed Darcy and Alec, and maybe even Maria, to buy into the move without panicking. The truth is, I paused and took a breath. The truth is that the Landers have been tracking us. I raised my hands to calm the ensuing racket. We don't have time to go over all the details. I hate to tell you this, but Finn was killed in an ambush, and I know how it was done. I'd been hoping someone in the room would look scared or guilty at this point, but they all just looked angry, and so I had to go on to the next trickier part of the plan. How was it done? Pavel yelled. Did he look scared, guilty? I lied again. I believe the Landers were tracking us using the warning signals the grinders use. They send out an echolocation blip that gets answered back. The Landers were picking that up and were able to follow us with pinpoint accuracy. A lump rose in my throat, but I continued. The sensors are activated each time a digger is turned on, so the Landers could also use it to find us here. That's why we need to move. Pavel slammed his fist against his digger. The grinders must have known that. They've been working with the Landers. I don't think so, but it is a reason to scout a location for the camp without them. The location that we haven't discussed before. There were some nods. Can't they just track us again? Mandeep asked. Now we get to the meat of the plan and the meat of the lie. No, I've gone through and disconnected all the sensors in the digger. How do we know where to go? Pavel asked. We'll be traveling through tunnels on the tracks, no disruptors. There are 4 of us. Each will go a separate direction, 1 per tunnel, then alternate right and left side tunnels until you find a good location. They looked at me blankly. I know, it's confusing. I've plotted the sequence into your guidance systems. It's a closed system, so it doesn't send a signal. It just puts a numerical sequence on your screen. When it says third left, you take the third left, and so on. It will also guide you back. Why not go together? Jimmy asked. This way we can cover more ground. Each of us will be looking for a location where we can easily set up a camp, sleeping quarters, infirmary, all the stuff we have here. 1 hour out, 1 hour back. That should give us a new home far enough from here. There were some grumbles, but mostly nods. They'd bought into the plan. Now to set the final piece of the trap. Maintain radio silence at all times. Keep your cameras on and be incredibly precise about following the variations on the screen. Is that clear? More nods, no grumbles. Good. Then fire up your diggers and good luck. One by one we got in and began to drive away. I followed slowly, dropping back bit by bit until I was sure they couldn't see me. Then I turned on my disruptor and headed into the wall, navigating a path in the rock parallel to the other diggers. I flicked on my screen. 3 red beeps appeared to my left, moving in unison toward the intersection. We reached it in a few seconds and then they separated. I waited for a minute and then broke through into the main tunnel. The red beeps grew brighter without the interference of the rock, and I watched as the diggers began to alternate their turns. So far, so good. The sensors Fatima had placed in each digger were coming through loud and clear, and none of the drivers were doing anything weird. Then, one of the blips veered off course and dimmed. One of the diggers had cut into the rock and was heading to the surface.